All right. Cleaned up my backdrop. All right, that looks fine. I wanted to touch on some things I have been studying, and those are, let's see. People with IBD, they're sometimes told certain sugars in their gut gets fermented and it causes the ulcers or the autoimmune, it triggers the flare. When I read it more in context of people with IBS because I don't know, man. They say IBS, IBD people shouldn't be eating apples or pears, and it's all because there's too much fructose or other things. They're called polyols, fructans, galactans. Yeah, polyols, POL. Can you see that? And I don't notice a difference. Between eating like a lot of this sugar. Actually, I eat a lot of sugar. I do avoid sorbitol. I mean, like xylitol, like the fake stuff. Stevia, I don't like how it tastes. And I remember one flare being preceded by a week of eating McDonald's, drinking Diet Coke. But now I'm drinking regular Coke. Seems fine. I just wanted to mention this because people who have ulcers, colitis and Crohn's, to think it might be in their diet with these sugars. Honestly, I did notice when I take something called galactin. Let me show you what this product is. This helps a ton when you're healing, like after you flared and you're not 100% down there. This does something along with L-glutamine to heal the lining of the gut, and it must do something with the FODMAP, people say, with sugars. So galactin. So let me see. Galactins are oligosaccharides containing chains of the sugar galactose. The human body lacks the enzyme to hydrolyze them into digestible components, so they are completely malabsorbed. Consequently, galactins can contribute to gas and GI distress. Dietary sources of galactins include lentils, chickpeas, kidney beans, black-eyed peas, broccoli, and soy-based products. So complex because this helps. This is considered a healthy prebiotic. This must be balancing maybe the sugar in the gut to fight whatever distress galactins by themselves cause with IBS or what have you. This other woman who wrote IBS Free at Last talks about inulin and FOS, which is a fructooligosaccharide. These are prebiotics. They're added to foods and supplements precisely because they are fermentable fibers meant to encourage the growth of friendly gut bacteria. While this makes sense in general, these food additives are sometimes poorly tolerated by people with IBS. Again, making it more complicated. I think if you have IBS or IBD and you read about FODMAPs, give it a go, see how it feels, but don't obsess over whether or not you can eat apples for the rest of your life, or sugar, or even fake sugar. Well, honestly, I do stay away. I would say stay away from like Diet Coke. There's something with the phenylalanine, phenyl-butronics. Read the can. But this is great. And something else I take, I mentioned the L-glutamine, but to heal the lining of the gut, just cheap collagen powder. This is often buy one, get one free at CVS. So it's like I don't cry about it if I lose $12 and see no results, but I have been seeing results. I've been taking collagen in my tea decaf every morning, 1 to 3 scoops. And I think it's helped my hair grow. I had a lot of telegenic effluvium, which is when your hair falls out after a stressful event. And that's happened 3 times. So this is the first time my hair has actually grown past probably here in like 5 or 6 years, in a very long time, because I had to shave my head multiple times. Once it started falling out, I just took it all off and started out the growth all over again. I'm moving on. I want to talk about medical medium. It's Anthony William. This is going to be more complicated because this adds yet another layer to what is causing our ulcers. So he conjectures that we're all kind of virally loaded. You went through your mother's vagina or not. Even in the womb, you're exposed to her viruses. I mean, just going back to Epstein-Barr virus, that's the mother of them all. Wherever anything with disease is happening, he conjectures, goes back to cortisol and adrenaline feeding these viral loads like Epstein-Barr virus, meningitis, herpes, HPV. If you throw COVID in there, any virus that you may have been exposed to in your life. Okay. And so they live in our nerves. And when we undergo a lot of stress, we kind of output cortisol and adrenaline. And, you've heard of adrenal fatigue. That's outputting all of those stress chemicals that pull the viruses out of the nerves and kind of feed them. And then they come alive. And when they come alive, that's the disease. That's the reaction. That might be the ulcers. They're triggering the immune system into the autoimmune reaction of ulceration. I like what he's saying, and I like that he has a whole slew of suggestions at the end of the book, which kind of just is for everyone. So I recommend it for everybody, not just people who have ulcers. Let's see. So I'm keeping this in the back of my mind as I'm researching and studying. And honestly, it just comes down to relaxation, keeping those stress chemicals low. He talks emotional detoxes. He talks about meditation. I went out to a place called Two Bunch Palms in Palm Springs. There is lithium in the mineral waters that will relax you instantly. It's absurd. I mean, it's so profound. It's not profound, or it's not profound. It's so profound. I had kind of like a subtle epiphany on the property there because they have like a pond and they had a black swan, and that really, I was like, whoa, that thing looks fucking sick. Like it was like matte. It looked like a void. Like you couldn't see the feathers. It just looked like it was like a cutout of like a felt. Oh, it's otherworldly. Relaxation. I took a Kundalini class there and I was like, oh, so Kundalini yoga isn't like moving your body and stressing you out and toning your muscles. You literally are just, I mean, you'll feel it. It's this like kind of, you feel it energetically go up your spine and you just feel more connected and relaxed and powerful. I think that's when it comes down to our stress, we're releasing these stress chemicals because we're in a state of fear. Breakups, medical stuff, politics, it's all geared towards keeping you in a state of fear. And maybe this is why. So keeping you sick is actually really good for a couple of people's pockets. And, it's not in their interest to get you healthier, to understand that you need to relax, but you do. We all do. So even if you have like the fear mentality of, if I don't do this, I'm going to get sick. Okay. So it's the if thens or the what ifs, all of those refrains, these common refrains of fearful people. The people should, or I should, or there should be. You'll hear people who live in fear say these things. And so even watch your language as you're talking about your disease. You don't have like necessarily a stress condition, but it is. Let's just say you experience short bursts of stress, which may trigger the ulcers. So the idea is to only experience those never, right? So like maybe you have a relaxation, like you prioritize relaxation. And if something gets out of control and triggers you into a fear state and you start feeling stressful, maybe somebody's breaking up with you and, you're just kind of like questioning your worth and all of this stuff, the fear for your future, where money's going to come from, whatever the situation is. You have to change the language you tell yourself. I remember the first time I was dumped. I mean, God, this was high school. And I heard somebody say something like, well, you've been single longer than you've been with them. So what's the problem? And and just the perspective of that, like not necessarily changing my language or like saying I lost and my boyfriend or I now have an ex-boyfriend, these were personal. This is a personal language. So I don't say like my disease, right? So like things like this, I say experience ulcerations, times of stress. Okay, I want to move on because that is the main topic with the medical medium, our viral loads, our stress levels. And you can think about food causing stress. So anytime you are feeding yourself, feed yourself good food, not stress inducing, um, pro oxidative stress foods. You know what I'm saying? No fried shit. I love fried stuff. I know I'm trying to gain weight and I'll go for onion rings thinking like, oh, this will put it on my hips. It really doesn't. Even as much sodas I'll drink on set as like my vice, that drinking soda doesn't make you fat. Like this is something that they're telling you, right? Okay. What's the next topic? I'm just checking my phone because I have messages from several lovers. I'm just kidding. I actually, hold on. Hold on. Hey, I'm doing the YouTube about my bleeding poop. Yeah. It's super bloody. Bye. That's why I don't have anybody calling me. Next topic is, what was I saying? Okay, FODMAPS. Oh, well, we talked about the supplements. I want to show you this. If you do like coffee, I've been doing well in Stellara. Since I moved into my house December 2019, I haven't flared. I actually moved in while flaring, and I ended up not even needing blood transfusions that flare because it wasn't so bad. So yes, I was in the hospital in LA, March 2020. Surprisingly, completely empty. If you want to go to a hospital that has no waiting room because there's nobody in it, go to, even during a pandemic, Tarzana has a hospital called Providence, and it's essentially owned by Cedars, but nobody knows. It's called Providence. Nobody's there. You just walk right in. You'll get a bed. You'll get treatment. You'll get your blood if you need it. Also, actually, I think I did get blood from them during a different stay, and they were so kind. They were like, you just tell us what you need. Do you want 2 bags? Because sometimes they'll limit it. It gets really scary after you've had like 40 because your body develops antibodies to every blood transfusion. And now we have to make sure we don't get blood that's had mystery serums, graphene oxide, anything like that. Okay, guys, seriously. I'm actually thinking about saving my own blood, and you put your own blood into a blood bank. So this is the way to do it. If you think you're going to flare ever in your life and you're going to need blood transfusions, guys, seriously. Yeah. So anyway, Stellara though seems to be working because last 3 years I have been fine. Like I said, ever since I moved into my house, healthy as a horse. I've been able to drink coffee and soda. So caffeine isn't affecting me as it did historically when I would flare while drinking a lot of coffee. Let's call that stress, right? Caffeine. I was under a lot of stress too. It's when I drink a lot of coffee. So like 15-hour days on set, hauling around clothing in a chair, working in crazy conditions because you're not always in a studio. This is great stuff, guys. If you just want to get away from coffee, that's questionable. Like, a lot of inorganic stuff might have molds in it or whatever. God, you can't even see this. I'm sorry. I really like this stuff. And yeah, okay, quote unquote, acquired taste, but like I put whatever sweetener and milk I want into it anyway. So I don't really taste coffee. I just taste sweetener. Also, this will go in it too. So it's like whatever. This and maybe this. So again, if you are looking for a new daily routine without coffee, but you like a little caffeine, try this. It just has lion's mane, chaga extract, rhodiola rosea extract, and instant coffee powder. Okay, 50 milligrams of caffeine. And these are, I like the 1 and 3 collagen because I had read if you take the all types together, they compete. So you don't really absorb the other types, but 1 and 3 don't compete with each other. And they're the ones most uh, visible with beauty or whatever, hair, nails, skin. And then again, Galactin is going to be like 25 bucks on Amazon. And I got it at a place in Santa Monica too. It's actually, I think, where I was recommended it. I had gone in and talked to a girl behind the counter, and she's like, "This is what you need." I just said, "Ulcerative colitis. I'm bleeding." And she was like, "I know. Or she said, I know someone with that. Okay, this is what you need." And she went around the corner and unlocked a door. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't locked. It's not expensive. Anyways, guys, I hope this was helpful. Please write in the reviews if you are, or comments, if you are on Stellara, if you take any of these, if you're following the medical medium, if you've ever followed FODMAPS. Yeah, just what you think. What's going on with your system, you know, and stay relaxed and stay cool, babies.